Japan and the Koreas. Essential question. How much does geography shape a country?
Wow, that's a really good question. How much does geography shape a country? Next on our exploration of the world, we're going to be taking a trip over to Japan and the Koreas. And as you can see here, Japan and the Koreas definitely have some geography involved here that probably has shaped the way that the people here live. One of the things that we'll talk about is tsunamis, because Japan faced a serious disaster in the last, maybe 10 or 12 years because of a tsunami, and they actually, because of their geography, experience and have to prepare for tsunamis in ways that many other countries don't have to, and also have to prepare for things like earthquakes. And so the geography there plays a role in both of those things, and as a result, it has shaped the way that the people there live. Let's start by just taking a look at the countries of North and South Korea, as well as Japan, and let's see if we can answer some questions here. So the first question that I would like you to think about is think about what is the capital of Japan? Can you identify the capital of Japan from looking at this picture? Next, I'd like you to think about what do you think the distance is from Seoul, South Korea, to Tokyo, Japan? What's the distance between those? Use the key and the map scale there to identify the distance between those two places. And then lastly, I'd like you to describe the location of Japan using relative location. So this goes back to our studies on the five themes. When we talked about those five themes, one of the themes is location. And so I want you to use what you remember about relative location to describe where Japan is. Next, I'd like you to meet Asuka. She lives with her father, her brother, and her grandmother in Yokohama, Tokyo. And she lives just like a lot of us do here in America. She goes to school, she spends time with her family, and she loves to sing karaoke.
The country of Japan is made up of a series of islands in the Pacific. The entire area of the country is slightly smaller than the state of California, and yet approximately 128 million people live in this space. Tokyo is the largest metropolitan area in the world, with 30 million residents. Space is at a premium in this country. Asuka lives just outside of Tokyo in a suburb called Yokohama. The 18-year-old lives with her grandmother, 15-year-old brother, and father in a small apartment.
Japan has a huge population, and yet there's so little land. Actually, our home is super small too. The really hard part is the lack of rooms. It would be nice to have one room per person. That's something that's a little bit tough. But on the other hand, this is part of a danshi, that's a special grouping of apartment blocks. It's apparently a system unique to Japan, but that means that we're really close to our neighbors. We get along really well. It's like a really warm environment to be part of.
Asuka and her family, like most Japanese, make very good use of their space. There are special hanging shelves for storage, and furniture is made for multiple uses.
This is my brother's room. We won't have that much space, so it's like a two-bed bunk, but upstairs is the bed and below is his desk. And Gran sleeps on a futon, so she folds it and packs it away during the day in this Oshir storage space. And lastly, this is a sofa which we use as such, but at nighttime, it becomes a bed like this, and my father sleeps on it.
Asuka's life, like her apartment, is crammed. She's in a special program at her high school that focuses on international studies. There she learns many languages, with a special emphasis on English.
All of the people who go there share an interest in learning how to speak and hear English. But after entering the school, a lot of people, myself included, develop an interest in international society.
Asuka says she wants to contribute to a global society. She is the leader of her school, the Locally Club, whose name combines the word globally and locally, which encourages its members to view global and historical events with a critical eye. The club takes frequent field trips to see historical monuments and see remains of past wars. On this day, their teacher takes them to a memorial damaged by war. He shows them stains left by napalm attacks, a burning chemical used as a weapon. Most of Asuka's classes are similar to those you would find in American schools. There are class debates, computers, and lots of writing. But one big difference is Asuka gets to do all this in her slippers. In fact, all Japanese students change out of their shoes and into indoor slippers when they get to school. Lunch also looks a little different. Japanese students use bento boxes to carry their lunches. The containers have many compartments for different foods. Asuka's grandmother made her a bento box today with a kind of fried beef cake. Asuka's mother and father divorced when she was very young, and ever since, her grandmother has lived with them.
I live in a one-parent family, so my grandmother takes the mother role and does all the housework. She's 75, but she's still really active.
Traveling through the city, Asuka isn't bothered by the crowds of people. Right now, she's on her way to meet some friends at one of her favorite places, a karaoke club. She says there are times when she can spend 4 to 6 hours just singing with friends.
カラオケの良さはですね、そうですね。
The good thing about karaoke is that you can just completely become that singer of the song. That's the biggest stress release there is. You can sing in a really big voice. Like I just said before, in Japan, everyone lives so close to each other, and homes are really small. So sound leaks through the walls, so you have to keep the sound levels down. But in karaoke, you can get really loud. I think that's why I like it.
In addition to her school, her extracurricular activities, and her friends, Asuka works 20 hours a week to help contribute to the family's income. Somehow, she finds time to do it all, and without complaint. She says she is lucky that she lives in a country crowded with people that feels more like a village.
Now that we know a little bit about what life is like in Japan and the Koreas, let's learn about the physical geography there.